The darkness of space stretched endlessly around the human colony ship SS Horizon. Inside, families laughed and shared stories, unaware of the danger that lurked just beyond the stars. Captain Alex Carter stood on the bridge, watching the stars twinkle outside the viewing window. He felt a sense of pride. They were finally nearing their new home, a lush planet rich with resources and potential. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Red lights flashed, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Alex's heart raced as he turned to his crew. "What's happening?" he shouted over the noise. "Captain, we've detected an unidentified ship approaching fast," shouted his first officer, Lieutenant Sarah Chen, her fingers flying across the control panel. "Get us out of here!" Alex commanded, adrenaline surging through him. Before the crew could respond, a massive alien warship emerged from the darkness, its sleek form intimidating against the backdrop of the stars. It was adorned with sharp edges and glowing symbols, radiating power and malice. The Horizon's sensors screamed warnings, but it was too late. A bright beam shot from the alien ship, striking the Horizon and shaking it violently. "Brace for impact!" Alex yelled, gripping the control panel. The ship trembled as the crew struggled to maintain their balance. Alarms blared louder, drowning out the shouts of panic. "Shields are failing!" Sarah shouted, desperately trying to stabilize the ship. As the alien ship closed in, Alex's mind raced. They were outmatched and outgunned. He remembered the training simulations, but knew nothing could prepare them for this. "Divert power to the engines. We need to get out of here," he ordered. With a sudden jolt, the Horizon lurched forward. The crew scrambled to their stations as Alex took the helm. He steered the ship into a narrow asteroid field, hoping the rocks would provide some cover. "Hold on!" he shouted, guiding the ship through the debris, narrowly avoiding collisions. The alien ship pursued them relentlessly, firing its weapons. Explosions erupted around them, sending shrapnel flying. The crew's faces were tense with fear, but Alex remained focused. He knew he had to keep them calm. "Stay sharp! We can make it!" he encouraged, his voice steady. As they navigated the field, Alex spotted a nearby planet. "If we can reach that planet, we might find a place to hide," he said, his mind racing with possibilities. "Prepare for atmospheric entry! Captain, the alien ship is gaining on us!" Sarah warned, her eyes wide with fear. "I know. Just a little longer," he replied, determination etched on his face. The Horizon began to shake violently as they entered the planet's atmosphere. Heat and pressure enveloped them, but Alex held firm. He felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, knowing that the lives of his crew depended on him. Suddenly, the ship jolted violently. An alarm blared as the hull creaked under pressure. "We've lost engine power!" Sarah cried, panic rising in her voice. "Not now!" Alex gritted his teeth, desperately trying to regain control. They were heading straight for a thick forest on the planet's surface. "Brace for impact!" With a thunderous crash, the Horizon plowed into the trees, splintering wood and sending branches flying. The ship came to an abrupt halt, smoke pouring from the damaged hull. Alex shook off the disorientation and looked at his crew. "Is everyone okay?" he asked, voice laced with concern. "Yeah, but we need to get out of here," Sarah replied, her eyes darting toward the wreckage. "Right!" Alex said, grabbing his emergency pack. They had to move quickly. The alien ship would be searching for them, and they couldn't afford to be caught. "We need to find shelter and assess the damage," he instructed, leading his crew out of the ship. Stepping outside, they were met with a breathtaking view. Lush greenery surrounded them. Vibrant flowers blossomed in colors they had never seen, and the air was fresh and alive. But there was no time to admire the beauty. "Let's go! We need to find a safe spot," Alex urged, scanning the treetops for signs of danger. As they moved through the forest, Alex felt a mix of hope and fear. They were alive, but the threat of the alien warship loomed over them. In his mind, he knew they had to regroup and prepare for whatever came next. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders, and the battle for survival was just beginning. As the sun began to set on the strange planet, Captain Alex and his crew took refuge in a hidden cave surrounded by thick trees. They were shaken but grateful to be alive. The echoes of the battle still haunted them, and the thought of the alien warship pursuing them sent shivers down their spines. "Is everyone all right?" Alex asked as they gathered around a small fire. The dim light flickered across their worried faces. Sarah nodded, but the fear in her eyes was hard to miss. I think we need to find a way to contact the Earth fleet, Sarah suggested, her voice trembling. We can't face that alien ship alone, Alex sighed, knowing she was right. They were stranded and vulnerable. Let's rest for now and come up with a plan, he replied, trying to stay optimistic. That night, as they huddled in the cave, Alex's thoughts raced. He knew they needed help, but who could they trust? The alien forces were ruthless, and the odds were stacked against them. He fell asleep with a heavy heart, the weight of leadership pressing down on him. Suddenly, Alex was jolted awake by a loud noise outside the cave. He quickly stood up, grabbing his laser pistol. "What was that?" he whispered urgently. "Something's out there," Sarah replied, her eyes wide with fear. They cautiously approached the entrance of the cave, peering into the darkness. The trees rustled and the underbrush crackled. Just then, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a small alien creature, unlike any they had ever seen. Its skin was a shimmering blue, and it had large, curious eyes that glowed softly in the dark. "Stay back!" Alex shouted, pointing his pistol at the creature. But instead of attacking, it raised its hands, showing that it meant no harm. "Wait!" said a voice, surprisingly clear and calm. "I'm not here to hurt you. My name is Luma." Alex and Sarah exchanged glances, unsure of whether to trust this strange being. "How do we know you're not working for the aliens?" Sarah asked, her voice still shaky. "I was once part of their ranks, but I defected," Luma explained, its voice filled with urgency. "I saw what they were doing to your kind. They see you as nothing more than prey. I can help you." Alex lowered his weapon, slightly intrigued. "How do we know you're telling the truth?" he pressed. Luma took a step closer, its eyes sincere. "I can show you their weaknesses. I know their technology and strategies. You can't fight them alone, but together we might have a chance." After a long moment of hesitation, Alex sighed, feeling the weight of their situation. "All right, we'll listen. But if you betray us, I won't hesitate to defend my crew." Luma nodded eagerly, relief flooding its features. "Thank you. I promise I only want to help." "Follow me!" They stepped out of the cave, and Luma led them deeper into the forest. The moonlight illuminated the path, revealing strange, glowing plants and unfamiliar creatures scurrying in the underbrush. Luma moved quickly, glancing back to ensure they were following. As they walked, Luma shared stories of the alien empire, explaining how their technology worked and why they viewed humans as threats. "They think you are weak and primitive, but I see your strength. Your resourcefulness is impressive. You can outsmart them," Luma said, its voice filled with admiration. Alex felt a flicker of hope as they continued their journey. "We might have a chance," he said, glancing at Sarah, who nodded in agreement. Finally, they arrived at a hidden clearing. In the center stood an old, abandoned alien outpost. The structure was covered in vines, but it still hummed with dormant energy. "This was a training ground for the alien soldiers," Luma explained. "If we can reactivate it, we can use their technology against them." "Let's get to work," Alex said, feeling a surge of determination. Together with Sarah, they began to explore the outpost. Luma showed them how to access the control panel, explaining the intricate systems in simple terms. It was a race against time. The alien warship would be searching for them. As they worked, a bond began to form between the humans and Luma. They shared stories and laughter, learning from one another. Luma was fascinated by human culture, asking questions about Earth and their traditions. In return, Alex and Sarah learned about the aliens' struggle against oppression within their own society. Just as they managed to reactivate the outpost, a distant sound broke the night, a familiar, menacing hum. The alien ship had found them. Panic surged through Alex and his crew. "We need to hide!" he shouted, looking around for a place to conceal themselves. "Quick, over here!" Luma pointed to a shadowy corner of the outpost, urging them to take cover. Heart racing, Alex led his crew into the shadows as the sound grew louder, the fear of being discovered hanging heavy in the air. The sound of the alien ship drew closer, filling Alex and his crew with fear. They huddled together in the shadowy corner of the old outpost, listening carefully. Luma's glowing eyes darted around, trying to assess the situation. "We need to be quiet. If they find us, we won't have a chance," Luma whispered urgently. Alex nodded, gripping his laser pistol tightly. "What do you suggest we do?" he asked, keeping his voice low. The tension in the air was thick, and he could feel his heart racing. Luma thought for a moment, its eyes focused. "We have to use this outpost. If we can activate the weapon systems, we might be able to fight back. But we need to work fast before they spot us." As they waited, Alex and Sarah exchanged worried glances. Do you think they know we're here? Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. Luma shook its head. Not yet, but they will if we don't act quickly. The ship will be scanning the area. We must move now. With a nod, Alex led the group deeper into the outpost. The walls were thick and dusty, filled with strange symbols that glowed faintly. Luma guided them to a control room at the back. This is where we can access the weapon systems, Luma explained, excitement in its voice. Once inside the control room, they found a large console covered in buttons and screens. Luma quickly began pressing buttons, and the screens lit up, revealing maps and schematics of the alien ship. Look! This is their battle plan, Luma said, pointing at a detailed layout of the enemy fleet. Alex leaned in, studying the screens closely. They're planning a full-scale attack on Earth, he said, his heart sinking. We need to stop them before they launch. First, we have to prepare ourselves for battle, Luma said, furiously typing on the console. We can use their own technology against them. If we can take control of their weapons, we might have a chance to turn the tide. Sarah looked over Luma's shoulder, intrigued. What do we need to do? She asked, ready to help. Luma explained, we need to divert energy from the main systems to power the weapons. It will take some time, but we can set up a surprise attack. They won't see it coming. Alex felt a surge of hope. Let's do it! We can't waste any time. The crew sprang into action, following Luma's instructions as they worked to activate the alien technology. As they worked, the atmosphere in the control room changed. The fear of being caught faded, replaced by determination. Alex, Sarah, and Luma shared ideas, their teamwork growing stronger. They began to bond, their shared purpose uniting them. Minutes passed, and the control room buzzed with energy. The screens flickered as they set the systems into motion. Almost there! Luma exclaimed, typing furiously. We just need to... Suddenly, the alarms blared throughout the outpost. The alien ship had spotted them. They're here! Sarah shouted, panic in her eyes. Stay calm! We need to finish this, Alex urged, his voice steady. He glanced at Luma, who was still focused on the console. Can you keep working while we hold them off? Yes! Just give me a few more minutes, Luma replied, not looking up. Alex and Sarah moved to the entrance of the control room, ready to defend their position. They could hear footsteps approaching, heavy and deliberate. Get ready, Alex whispered, raising his weapon. As the first alien soldiers burst into the room, Alex and Sarah fired their weapons. Bright beams of energy lit up the dark space, illuminating the aliens' surprised faces. The battle had begun. Keep fighting! I need more time, Luma shouted, focused on the console. The sounds of battle echoed around them as Alex and Sarah held their ground, determined to protect their newfound ally. They ducked behind cover, exchanging fire with the aliens. The control room was chaotic, filled with the sounds of lasers and explosions. Alex felt his heart pounding as he fought alongside Sarah, adrenaline rushing through him. Luma, how much longer? Sarah shouted over the noise, her eyes darting around for any signs of danger. Just a little more, Luma replied, its fingers moving swiftly over the console. I'm almost there! The alien soldiers kept coming, but Alex and Sarah were relentless. They fought with everything they had, motivated by the thought of protecting Earth and their new friend. Just when it seemed like they were overwhelmed, Luma shouted, I did it! The weapons are activated! With a newfound strength, Alex and Sarah pushed back against the alien soldiers. Now we can turn the tide, Alex shouted, feeling hope surge through him. Let's show them what humans can do, Sarah cried, determination shining in her eyes. With Luma's guidance, they activated the outpost's defenses, preparing for a counterattack. This was their chance to fight back and prove that humans were not to be underestimated. The sound of lasers and explosions filled the air as the battle raged on in the alien outpost. Alex, Sarah, and Luma fought side by side against the alien soldiers, their hearts racing with adrenaline. As the weapons of the outpost came to life, beams of energy shot out, hitting their targets with incredible precision. Keep it up! We're pushing them back, Alex shouted, firing his laser pistol at an approaching alien. The creature stumbled, its eyes wide with shock. Sarah, with her quick reflexes, ducked behind a control panel and fired back, sending another alien to the ground. Luma, can we use the outpost to call for help? Sarah yelled, reloading her weapon. We need reinforcements! Great idea. I can tap into their communication systems, Luma replied, excitement in its voice. It hurried back to the console, fingers flying over the buttons. But I need time. Hold them off a little longer. With renewed determination, Alex and Sarah fought harder. The tide of battle began to shift in their favor as more energy beams erupted from the outpost. Alien soldiers were falling, but new ones were still pouring in, their numbers overwhelming. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the outpost. The walls trembled and dust fell from the ceiling. "They're trying to breach the defenses!" Alex shouted. "We can't let them in!" Sarah nodded, her face set with determination. "We'll hold the line! We can't let them disrupt Luma's work!" Together, they took up strategic positions near the entrance, ready to face whatever came through. Luma's hands flew over the controls as it transmitted the signal. The screens lit up with static, and then a voice crackled through the speakers. "This is Commander Jax of the Rebel Alliance. What's your situation?" "We're under attack by the alien empire," Luma replied, its voice steady. "We need immediate assistance at our location." "Hold on! Reinforcements are on the way," Commander Jax responded. "Stay strong!" With hope flooding their hearts, Alex and Sarah continued to fight, their spirits lifted by the thought of help arriving soon. They knew they had to hold on just a little longer. The alien soldiers pressed on, but they could sense the change in the air. The humans were fighting back with fierce determination, and the aliens began to hesitate. The tide of the battle was turning. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the outpost. Alex looked up to see a group of alien rebels bursting through the entrance, led by Commander Jax himself. The rebels, armed with advanced weaponry and wearing battle gear, charged in, joining the fight. "Let's show them what we're made of," Commander Jax shouted, leading the charge. The presence of fresh fighters revitalized Alex and Sarah. They joined forces with the rebels, fighting side by side against the alien empire. The outpost erupted in chaos as the humans and rebels launched a coordinated attack. "Almost there," Luma called out, glancing back at them. "Just a few more seconds." As the aliens charged, Alex and Sarah moved in perfect harmony, covering each other's backs. Alex aimed at the doorway while Sarah took down any soldiers trying to flank them. Their teamwork grew stronger with every shot fired. Just as it seemed the aliens would overwhelm them, Luma shouted, "I've got it! I can send a distress signal to other rebels in the area." "Do it!" Alex yelled. "We need all the help we can get." Laser beams flew through the air and the sounds of battle filled the night. The aliens, now outnumbered, began to retreat. "Keep pushing! Don't let them escape!" Alex yelled, feeling a surge of adrenaline. They were finally gaining the upper hand. As the battle raged on, Luma worked tirelessly at the control panel, coordinating the efforts of both humans and rebels. "I'm redirecting energy to the main defenses," Luma shouted. "We can cut off their escape route!" "Good thinking, Luma," Sarah called out. "We need to trap them here." With Luma's guidance, the energy beams from the outpost focused on the entrance, creating a wall of fire that blocked the aliens' path. The remaining alien soldiers found themselves cornered, panic spreading among them. "Now's our chance!" Alex shouted, rallying the fighters. "Let's finish this!" The combined forces of the humans and the rebel aliens pushed forward, driving the enemy back. One by one, the alien soldiers fell, their morale shattered by the unexpected alliance. As the last of the aliens retreated, a cheer erupted from the humans and their new allies. They had won the battle, but more importantly, they had formed an alliance that could change the course of the war. "Thank you for your bravery," Commander Jax said, shaking Alex's hand. "You fought with incredible skill. We couldn't have done this without you." "We're just getting started," Alex replied, his heart swelling with pride. "Together, we can defeat the alien empire and protect our homes." Luma beamed with joy. "This is just the beginning of our fight for freedom." As they stood together in the aftermath of the battle, Alex, Sarah, Luma, and their new allies felt a sense of unity. They had come together in the face of danger, and now they would fight as one. The future was uncertain, but with their newfound alliance, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The air crackled with tension as Alex, Sarah, Luma, and their new allies prepared for the final showdown against the alien empire. After their hard-fought victory at the outpost, they had learned that the enemy was regrouping for one last attempt to conquer Earth. They knew this battle would determine the fate of their planet. "We can't let them get away again," Commander Jax said, his voice firm. "We need to strike fast and hard before they can launch their invasion." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "What's the plan?" he asked, looking at Luma, who had been studying the maps of the alien ships. Luma pointed to a glowing screen filled with schematics of the enemy fleet. The alien command ship is leading the fleet. If we can take it down, the rest of their forces will fall apart. We need to hit them where it hurts. Sarah leaned in, her brow furrowed in concentration. How do we get to the command ship? It will be heavily guarded. Commander Jack smiled confidently. We'll use the element of surprise. Our rebel ships will create a distraction. While they're focused on the rebels, we'll slip in and take out their command ship. Sounds risky, but it might just work, Alex said, his heart racing with excitement. He felt a surge of hope knowing they weren't alone in this fight. The team quickly gathered their weapons and strategized for the assault. The plan was set in motion, and adrenaline surged through them. As they boarded their ships, Alex glanced at Sarah, who was busy checking her gear. "Are you ready for this?" he asked, trying to mask his nerves. She smiled, determination shining in her eyes. "Ready as I'll ever be. We've come too far to back down now." As the rebel ships launched into space, the view was breathtaking. Stars glittered against the black void, and the distant command ship loomed ahead, surrounded by smaller alien vessels. The tension was palpable. "Remember, stick to the plan," Commander Jax instructed over the communication link. "We'll draw their attention. Alex, Sarah, and Luma, you'll flank from the right. Wait for my signal." The rebel ships charged ahead, firing their weapons at the enemy ships, creating a dazzling display of explosions and bright colors. The alien fleet responded, turning their attention to the rebels exactly as planned. "This is our chance!" Luma shouted, excitement in its voice. "Let's move!" Alex piloted their ship to the side, carefully avoiding enemy fire. "Stay sharp! We can't afford any mistakes." The team maneuvered through the chaos, dodging lasers and debris. The command ship was now in sight, but it was heavily defended. A wall of alien fighters surrounded it, ready to protect their leader at all costs. "Get ready!" Sarah yelled, her voice filled with adrenaline. "We're going in!" They charged forward, weaving in and out of the enemy ships. With every shot fired, Alex felt more alive. Together they fought valiantly, taking down alien fighters one by one. "Cover me while I get closer to the command ship," Luma instructed.
"On it!"
Alex replied, firing his weapon at an approaching enemy. "Don't let them surround us." As they got closer to the command ship, the enemy fighters began to focus on them. "They're targeting us! We need to break through," Sarah warned, her heart pounding. "Hold steady. I'm activating the cloaking device," Luma said, fingers flying over the controls. "We'll slip right past them." Suddenly, their ship vanished from sight. Alex felt a rush of relief as they sailed through the enemy ranks undetected. "It worked! We're inside!" he shouted. Once they were clear of the fighters, Luma quickly deactivated the cloaking device. "Now we need to disable their defenses," it exclaimed. "I'll access the command ship systems." "Be quick," Alex urged, scanning for any approaching threats. Luma connected to the command ship's network, hacking into its systems. "I'm in! I'll disable their weapons in 3, 2, 1. A loud alarm sounded through the ship, and the lights flickered. "Yes! Their defenses are down!" Luma shouted with joy. "Now's our chance! Let's take it out!" Alex yelled, determination filling his voice. They targeted the command ship's main reactor, aiming for the glowing core at the center. "On my mark! 3, 2, 1, fire!" The ship erupted in a dazzling explosion, sending shockwaves through space. The other alien ships began to panic as their command ship fell apart. "Now we need to get out of here," Sarah warned, glancing back at the chaos. "We can't stick around." As they made their escape, Alex felt a surge of pride. They had done it! They had taken down the alien command ship and dealt a massive blow to the Empire. But the fight wasn't over. The remaining alien ships were regrouping, and their fury would be unleashed soon. "Prepare for the counterattack!" Commander Jax's voice crackled over the comms. "We need to hold our ground!" The final showdown had begun, and they were ready to face whatever came next. Together, humans and their new allies stood united, determined to protect their home and prove that they were indeed the galaxy's ultimate predators.